Yeah, what's going on, ladies and gents? We back at it for another episode. This is episode 101 of Dot Connect Wednesdays. And today is important. It's pivotal. This is exciting because today marks the beginning of what we've been waiting for, what we've been planning all along. We've got three bills that have passed. This is crypto week. We've got Fortune 500s in the building. Everybody's lined up, so there's a ton of capital that's coming in. So before we dive in, I'm Champ Bobbitt. This is Steve Bayonne. Steve is joining us. For those of you who do not know, Steve is joining us from Santa Marta, Colombia. Right now, he is at Luminara. Right, that is the new hub. You know what I mean? Outside of the U.S., this is something that's super special to us both. But Steve, if you want to kind of tell him a little bit about it, just because this is Dot Connect. Talk to him, Esteban.
Yeah, so this was like looming since the pandemic. I kind of wanted to get out the country around that time. So talking to my wife at the time and just started to put the pieces in play together during the pandemic. Shit was already on lockdown, so that wasn't gonna happen. But I did say I would never get caught like that again. I definitely wanted a second or third or fourth option, in the future. So I did this post maybe last year. It was, and I'm still, every time I run the post, it goes crazy. It says second, wealthy Americans are getting second passports at an all-time high. And it went crazy in there. I mean, everybody was chiming in. I didn't realize how many people were looking to leave America or how many people actually did leave America. So then we created a expat life, which is on our YouTube channel. And it basically we interviewed some people, Thailand, UK, Santa Marta, which is Rhodesia, and just hearing people's journeys of what they did, and then the more I went down the rabbit hole, I started realizing like how that is a viable option. Coming from my father who was an immigrant, migrated to the United States. I figured I'd be the 2.0 version of that, like my wife would say. Time to kind of expand our wings a little bit. Not looking to like drop the denounce U.S. citizenship or anything like that. It was mainly for investment purposes. So at the end of last year, we made the decision to say, you know what, let's just sell everything we have, real estate wise in America. We had a portfolio, small portfolio, not crazy, in Detroit, Michigan, and I can remember like the last year I was just getting burnt out from it. I always self-manage my properties. I end up working with a program. It was a state program in Detroit that follows federal guidelines, and they end up moving everybody out. They moved into, high-rise buildings with laundromats. Like you couldn't even compete with that stuff. So I ended up losing a good amount of tenants. So it was the first time that I had to go in and actually see what the market was actually giving us. And because I self-manage, I get to kind of see what's out there. And the one thing that jumped out at me that made this decision even the etched it in stone even more is I was seeing the amount of elderly people on Social Security that were making. I think in Detroit, it was something like 700 and something dollars a month, maybe 970 a month. And then the cheapest unit I had was like 650. And then from there, it went to like 750. And I'm like, there's no way these people could afford this, but this is how they were living. So fast forward to today with Trump and everything with the cuts and, you know, everything happening to the elderly with their stuff. I'm just like, I made the right decision. I didn't take any of them because the numbers just didn't make sense. But they've been living in apartments where, rule of thumb, you want to go, your rent doesn't, you don't want your rent or even your mortgage to be more than 30% of your income, right? That's kind of the rule of thumb. But no one was qualifying for that. So now when you fast forward to what Trump and them are doing with the Section 8 program. So because not only did we own real estate, but we have a brokerage in New York. So we've been working with programs from the broker side and from the owner side. And I just saw the writing on the wall. This was before the Trump administration. So now that they're moving everything from federal level to the state, I've worked with state programs before, and Champ also, and we know how inefficient those programs are. So because I'm in crypto, I'm able to see a lot. Because I'm in AI, I'm able to like kind of look into the future. And I saw the writing on the wall, right? Even if you went with cash tenants within the next, 5 years, who knows how many jobs are going to be displaced. So it's like, On the Section 8 side, what's going to happen on that side is they're going to cut the programs, which they did already, the funding. They're going to send it down to the states. But if anybody knows how the states run programs, it's super inefficient, right? Federal level is just guidelines. They don't run it. They just set the rules. But on the state level, it's easy to manipulate because the relationships are so personal on the state level. So this is why I was able to lose so many people to a building. Now what's happening is a lot of developers aren't selling condos anymore, right? People aren't buying condos. So now they're turning those condos into rentals, and they're getting, tax abatements and things like that. And then they're just going all Section 8. So if you have to compete against a full service building with an elevator versus something in the hood, there's no comparison. So this is what's going to happen. A lot of you mom and pop people who have Section 8, just be careful and just be on the lookout. You know what I'm saying? Because you're going to be competing with a whole new market, a luxury market that doesn't exist anymore, right? They kind of overbuilt, and that one slowed down. So where am I going with this? Anyway, I saw the writing on the wall, and we sold. So in selling, I said I would never reinvest in America again. And this is where one thing led to another. And then I end up, Colombia ended up being one of the landing spots. We ended up visiting. We loved it. And the first purchase was done, and we bought a resort first. So I wanted to go into hospitality. And, for me, it's really to host our own events. At the end of the day, it was a dream that my wife had for a while, and we just made it come to fruition. So if you're part of the academy, you'll be hearing about upcoming events and just craziness. All types of stuff are going to be happening there. So I'm hoping to do maybe like 20 to 30 of our own private events per year. And then the rest of it would be, rentals and things like that. So that's what brought me to Colombia. So I'm here for a couple months now, just getting the work started, getting acclimated to the scenery. Yeah, it's kind of wild to think that I left the whole house at home and I'm like buying irons and mops and like crazy shit. So I was like, I feel like I'm in college. Remember that first day of college when you just went to the store and you're buying a whole bunch of shit?
He had to re-up, yeah, on everything.
That's what it feels like. And I'm like, why am I? This is nuts. Like my crib has everything we need, where we want it. So it's just a temporary spot, but because I'll be out here back and forth, I figured let me just invest in these things. You start to realize when you're in another country, like we're just super consumers. These people, if they've never really traveled the world the way we do, and they definitely don't spend how we do. So there was no iron in here. There's no hot water. It's a full service building, but not everybody, it's not a necessity. Plus it's so hot out here. We just, things that we're used to in America, they don't even think about. So they're not really setting these apartments up for Americans. So just that little bit of learning curve in the last few days, but things are settling down a little bit. So the writing is on the wall, guys, like the geopolitical climate of the United States, the advancements in AI, right, is going to send us, we're basically just kind of headed towards our own demise at the end of the day, right? It's still in the hands of very few. And now that we have these technocrats at the head of the table, they're controlling us for convenience at the end of the day. So I'm just watching like how much things I do that doesn't involve convenience here because they don't operate on convenience. So it's slowing me down. Like I have to look, I have to convert the money at the register. Usually you're just kind of swiping. So this is exactly what I needed. I needed to slow down. So yeah, that's what the hell brought me to Colombia. It was a second visa play. So I'll come in with a visa and then later on my wife will come and then the kids will come. So it's one of many resorts that we're gonna be open throughout South America and Latin America. That's kind of the first place I want to kind of sit into. So I'm excited about this one.
Definitely.
And they're far behind in crypto, very far.
I know you're seeing some opportunities out there. I know how your brain works. You know what I mean? So I already know you was, on 10 as soon as you landed.
Kind of, sort of, but like you got to slow down to like figure things out first. So I'm not like jumping out the window. I do see a ton of shit, but
Yeah.
by the time I catch up, they still kind of archaic a little bit. So I'll still be ahead a little. But yeah, no, I appreciate that.
Yeah, nah, man, that's super dope, man. I'm glad you made it there safe. I'm glad you touched down and you know what I mean? We embarking on this new journey, man. This is powerful, brother. So from me to you, I just want to say publicly, I want to give you my flowers, you know what I mean? So that you have them, you deserve them, and you can smell them, bro. You've been killing it, bro. Let's keep it up.
Appreciate that.
Yes, sir.
Appreciate
Um,
that.
so
Going
today is a little wild, bro. Today is one of
Mm.
the days, man. So this is and you know what? This is right on cue. This is episode 101. So anytime that there's like, I guess, milestones, anytime that there's big things that happen with us, it aligns with big news that happens inside the crypto industry. So I ain't just gonna fluff it. Let's get straight to it. This is the most pivotal week in modern financial history, right? From Capitol Hill to the Federal Reserve, from Ripple's EU takeover to a whole digital asset framework finally being passed, and it's on its way into law. This is not theory. This is not hype. This is not a might happen. It just happened today. And it changes every single thing from investors, entrepreneurs, institutions, and most importantly, you all. All right. So, first things first, Crypto Week started Monday on July 14th, 2025. The Federal Reserve officially went live and they implemented the ISO 20022 standard, right? This is for its FedWire fund service. And after a multi year global rollout, they delayed it all the way up until March, right? Now we're in July and it officially launched. This is 100% in stone. Now, what this means is that all United States financial institutions using FedWire must adopt this new standard. This is going to enable richer, more structured, automated messaging between banks and financial institutions and just various systems that's existing. And the problem that we have is that it's fragmented, right? It's a lot of issues that come with moving money from one point to another. And that's getting solved. This is the future of finance, right? The same efficiency that we have with sending an email, how it's instant. This is what they're doing with money. And it's no longer just an idea or theory, it's live. So ISO 20022, and I know you guys probably heard this all over your Twitters and your social media platforms, etc. Basically, this new structure has been needed for real-time gross settlement or RTGS, right? This is going to be instant global clearing and it's going to integrate into digital assets. So put this into perspective. More than 80% of the world's financial transactions all run on ISO 20022 by the end of this year, 2025. This is why this is so important. So this is huge. I mean, monumental alignment. So I want you guys to ask yourself, who was ready for this before anybody else? Every single one of our Skyton Academy members, you guys knew about this from the jump. We weren't shy about this information. We always gave it, right? Even before we were Skyton Academy or even Skyton Crypto University. When Steve and I were both doing this individually before we came and formed this magnificent brainchild. Back in 2020, there was a company by the name of Ripple. They joined the ISO 20022 standards body. They were the first blockchain focused company to do so, right? And they had a product which was called RippleNet. This was built from the ground up and it was from inception meant to support these ISO native messages. So while XRP itself, I just want to be clear, XRP, the token, is not compliant with this standard, but Ripple, the company, is. And Ripple, the company, has a product. It's called RippleNet, right? This is the liquidity engine behind all of Ripple's payments. It used to be called on-demand liquidity, and this is going to move funds instantly across borders, across currencies, without having to pre-fund accounts. There's no more need for what's called nostro-vostro accounts. All right, so now Ripple is no longer a crypto company. This is a next-gen financial network provider with infrastructure. That's that infrastructure word Steve always likes to use that aligns perfectly with the Fed's new digital backbone. This is the future of finance being set up. So it doesn't just stop there, right? This is why I wanted to give you guys a little bit of backstory. So during Crypto Week, no coincidence, there was just an announcement that was just made on the same day, on Monday, July 14th. RLUSD, which is Ripple's stablecoin, they just expanded into Europe via Luxembourg. So Ripple applied for what was called the EMI or Electronic Money Institution license under MiCA, which is Markets in Crypto Assets. This is the regulatory body that's out in the Eurozone, right? So all of Europe is kind of under this thumb. So this regulatory framework is going to govern all crypto, all stable coins. Once this thing gets approved, this gives Ripple the legal right to operate across 30 European Economic Area countries. 30. Ripple also incorporated Ripple Payments Europe SA back in April of this year. So this means that now they get to oversee compliance with Luxembourg's financial watchdog, which is the CSSF, right? You guys can look it up on your own time. And then you've got Bank of New York Mellon, which is Ripple RLUSD's custody partner. That's going to be their official custodian. They already operate out in Luxembourg. So now the reserves are going to have compliance seamlessly. This means a huge puzzle piece just got connected, right? We're bridging the gap from different countries with the same assets. So now the institutions are going to have the same access that us, the retail investor, is going to have. But the difference is these institutions have billions, if not trillions of dollars that they're going to be able to invest. And it's going to all run through these same compliance systems. So now the laws are also being spread globally, and everybody is going to be on what's called a level playing field. Understand that these EU laws, they require that each stablecoin issuer hold about 30 to 60% of the reserves in bank deposits, and they got to have strict limits. And under Luxembourg's international banking presence, it makes all of it possible. France is also going to lead because they have three of those EMI approved stablecoin entities, but Luxembourg is where the infrastructure advantage is at. This is why PayPal, Ripple, and other big companies are all going to have stablecoin hubs in Luxembourg. So again, these companies that we keep telling you guys about, this is not fluff. This is not speculation. We're giving you guys the heads up. We're giving you a bird's eye view into ways you could position yourself to be handsomely rewarded, like you see today when the market moves on big information. Now, this is the elephant in the room. Now, today, we just had three huge bills that just passed, and I'm going to break it all down for you. This is as of today, July 16th. This is about 5 p.m., 4 or 5 p.m. It's official. You're going to start to see a whole bunch of articles and things get released on it. Of course, they're going to just piggyback off each other and they're just going to, kind of regurgitate stuff. But I'm going to break it all down for real. So you've got three bills that officially passed through the U.S. House of Reps today. You got the Genius Act, which is going to be the first fully regulated framework for United States stablecoins, RLUSD. Hello. Then you've got basically, well, let me get into it a little bit. So it requires that each stablecoin has 100% backing. That's going to be the new law. That's the new standard across the board, not just here in the United States, but every single country is going to adopt this. This is why it's so important for us to have regulations. So 100% backing, independent audits, which means somebody else is going to have to come in and audit each one of the stablecoin issuers to make sure they're upright, they're upstanding, and they have exactly what they say they have in reserves. And they have to formally register with these government entities just to make sure nobody is just randomly creating coins and stable coins to be used. And then they basically just kind of pull the rug out of everybody, right? Stable coins is not that game. Also, here's the biggest thing in that bill. If you're unregulated or if you're a fly-by-night stablecoin, you're dead on arrival. The biggest stablecoin per market cap right now is Tether. Right now, Tether accounts for damn near 70, I think it's like 65, 70% of the market share for stablecoins as of right now. But over the past week or two, the inflows of money and capital going into USDC and RLUSD from institutions have been through the roof. That means people are already seeing the writing on the wall. They knew once this bill got passed, players like Tether, they're going to be dead in the water. The correlation to that is Tether is what pumps Bitcoin. Today alone, I seen two new mints for $1 billion of Tether. So this is why Bitcoin is damn near at 120,000 a coin right now. straight manipulation. But we'll get into that later. All right. But what that means is this basically paves the way for Wall Street, banks, payroll systems, fintechs, etc. They're all going to be able to adopt these stable coins with legal full support. The second bill is going to be the Clarity Act. This is HR 3633. This is going to bring legal distinction between securities, commodities, digital assets. All right. We throw these terms around in the crypto market all the time, and a lot of times people don't have certainty, right? And the language becomes obscured, the understanding becomes obscured. So a lot of companies just randomly create projects thinking it's going to be okay, and then they get deemed a security, or they're just memes and rug pulls, and people just give them different titles. So this is important to understand. With this Clarity Act, this is going to get rid of that veil, that uncertainty. And this is why the SEC has been suing everybody, even with XRP, Ethereum, countless others, right? This is going to definitively set the guidelines for when a token is a security and when it's not. All right. So it's no more of that leading by enforcement with the SEC. They have to kind of know the rules of the road, and the Clarity Act does that. Finally, this is the behemoth of the three. This is my personal favorite, right? So I'm still digging, I'm still doing my research. I urge every single one of you to do so. But we're going to give you guys more clarity in some crypto and tins that's on the way. So this is the Anti-CBDC Act. It's called HR 1919. So this is going to block the Federal Reserve from being able to issue CBDCs, or central bank digital currencies. Basically, this is like a surveillance state, right? It's programmable money that tells you when you can spend it, how you can spend it, where you can spend it, the amount. It has a time limit on it with expiration dates, so you can never save, etc. This is something you don't want, but CBDCs are a reality in other countries outside of the US. But here, Trump is just stating the claim. He doesn't want it. It's not going to happen here. And with this bill passing, it looks like that's going to be the case. All right. So this legally codifies basically Trump, his executive order, ensuring that we won't have programmable surveillance dollars in circulation. All right. So the digital dollar here in the United States is dead. The only digital dollar that we may ever have is going to be a stable coin, right? Which is arguably, some people say that a stable coin is a CBDC, right? But that's a toss up, right? But this is for the first time in history the United States has ever had a crypto first, privacy protected, and regulatory clarity bill or framework to exist. So I'm super excited about this. I don't know about y'all, but the market is reacting. So I know everybody out there in crypto land and out there on YouTube, everybody's portfolio is agreeing, right? This is major. All right, now if you're wondering how we even got here, the Genius Act actually failed the first vote yesterday. This was on a Tuesday. It was 210 Democrats and 13 Republicans that voted no against this because it didn't specifically say that there was a ban on CBDCs. Later that night, after we got off the call, off of our members only call, Trump had a conversation, which was allegedly brief, with 11 of those 13 Republicans, and all 11 of them changed their votes. So in a last minute, there was no last minute amendments, but in a last minute vote, they all went yay, because here's the gray area people need to understand. So even though they voted no for a valid reason. Nobody wants CBDCs, period, right? So it was good that they stood their ground. Now, after Trump talked to them, allegedly this is what took place. He basically leaned on them. Everybody switched their vote, and he switched their vote because he had already had an existing executive order banning CBDCs, right? So that wasn't a last minute thing. That happened back in, I think, March or April. Then you had the reinforcement to that, which was by law inside of the Anti-CBDC Act. So once that act got passed, no CBDCs, full stablecoin regulation, token clarity, project clarity. The future is now officially secured. The next step is going to be all three of those bills individually hitting Trump's desk. He's going to sign them into law. We're golden. All right. Welcome to the future of finance. So if you guys are out there listening to this, you got to understand that this is not like speculation. This isn't a side hustle, something that you should play with. We are now in the biggest financial evolution since the internet. Stablecoins, stablecoin issuers, they will become bank integrated payment rails. The investment risks that people had to assume without any sort of clarity, they just got clearer. We now have token classification. And then you had CBDC free regulation. This means we're going to have a little bit of freedom and we're going to have sovereignty that remains somewhat intact. Now, when it comes to money, you're never 100% sovereign, but we're going to teach you how to navigate in this new future finance realm. This is your new reality. All right. So this means you're going to have bank partnerships are going to now accelerate. You're going to have institutional capital, your future, your Fortune 500s, your Fortune 100s. These guys are big behemoths that had tons of capital waiting for this exact moment. They've been waiting on the sidelines and they're about to pour in like never before. So if you thought seeing the overall crypto market cap at $3.78 trillion was something major, oh, just wait. You're about to see something that's about to knock your socks off. All right. I'm not telling you guys to bet the house on this. You have to understand that markets all have market cycles. But I do honestly think with the news from today and this week, altcoin season is back in effect, and we're about to see a lot of projects get busy. So everybody who had first movers advantage, who's been strategically investing along the way, you're about to see some upside. All right. So retail investors, I appreciate you all for being here. I appreciate you all for believing in what you've been investing in, right? And thank you all for helping grow this industry. Without you guys, we wouldn't be here at Skyton Academy. All right. So again, guys, this is now no longer speculation. This is federal policy. And I'm gonna touch on one last thing. Steve, if you want to get busy, if you want to say something to him, I got you. But I got a little nugget, and I had to piggyback off you from yesterday. So Steve mentioned we had Standard Charter. Standard Charter is a big dog, and this news definitely not coincidental. July 15th, Tuesday, yesterday, during crypto week, everybody was so focused on the Clarity Act, the Anti-CBDC, and the Genius Act, right? Standard Charter, which is 170-year-old SIFI, right? For those of you who have no clue what that is, that's a systemically large or important financial institution that's too large to fail. Understand this. That means that this bank, period, cannot collapse. The reason being is because if it did, it would cause such a seismic collapse and ripple through the rest of the financial realm, it would cause catastrophe. You know what they just did? They are the first global bank to offer spot trading for Bitcoin and Ethereum for institutions, not futures, not ETFs, regulated spot trading. Now, this is already live through the bank's UK branch, right? So they were only targeting financial institutions in the UK, right? London, etc. Now they're focused on asset managers, multinational corporations, and so much more. 24, not 24/7, but 24/5 trading, right? This is going to increase over time, but they only operate Monday through Friday, right? This is why they said 24 hours, 5 days, right? Now, to the average person, you might be thinking, all right, champ, all right, cool. Like, this is just another bank that's getting into crypto, right? We heard this before. Here's the gem. So, this was already planned out long ago. I did some digging before this call. Now, when you've been in the space, Steve's been here since 2015, as well as myself, right? I remember certain names because they're huge. They're a big deal. Back then, when we first got into crypto, I can only speak for myself. I can't speak for Steve. But I remember I had to pay attention to every single move because I was trying my best. This was my first time really investing into the speculative asset class, right? This is before I knew all the things that I know and had the full conviction. So I had to build the conviction. And I remember this company, Standard Charter. I'm like, yo, Standard Charter, they already invested in Ripple. I couldn't find the article until today, and I found it. So September 15th, 2016, there was an article that Ripple put out with Standard Charter. It said that they strategically invested in Ripple. And the reason behind it was to digitize finance. This was in 2016. And we've been calling this the future of finance before the media was even thinking about this. Their purpose was to lead and to drive innovation. They had what was called a proof of concept. A board observer seat at Ripple took this notion. They sat down at the table with Standard Charter and pitched the idea. When they pitched the idea, they saw Ripple as a gateway to basically reshape the global realm, all payments across the world, all trade, all value. And they were planning to figure out how to move it across Asia, Africa, and the whole Middle East. 2025, 9 years later, it's done. The custody rails, the pipes, the infrastructure, the compliance layers. Now we have the law, right? The infrastructure. They're going to offer spot Bitcoin and ETH trading. That's just the start. There's going to be more crypto assets soon. Now, again, I'm giving you a gem. Ripple, the company, uses what digital asset? XRP. If they're already partnered and they have strategic investment in a proof of concept with Ripple and what they're doing to move money and value across borders instantaneously, do you think they're going to stop with Bitcoin and ETH? If you are, you're sadly mistaken. Digital asset custody. So now they're going to be a custodian globally. Think about that. Think about all the money that doesn't have a bank associated with it, just in Africa alone. Then you're going to have tokenization services. Then you're going to have more partnerships, Zodia Custody and Zodia Markets from Africa, Asia, and the Middle East. This is all Dubai. This is all Iran. This is Iraq. This is a lot of capital, guys. So understand, let this sink in. A globally systematic important bank that's too big to fail just fully embraced the crypto market. Not just through investment, direct participation. This ain't hype. This was planned. You got foreign exchange interfaces that standard chartered is specializing in, all for institutional clients. They're bridging it seamlessly with blockchain and the future of finance. So all the NDAs that were signed many, many years ago, they're all done with now. So you're about to see more guardrails, more institutions come out, and they're not going to be doing beta tests, right? It's not going to be what they call pilots. They're going to deploy capital, and you're about to see it live and direct. Now, with all this information, how could somebody possibly be a skeptic?
Now, hold on. Just pass it. Just pass it.
Go ahead, rock out.
Just pass it.
Rock out.
So Standard Charter, just to give you guys an idea, right? Total assets, about 850 billion. This was last year. All right. That's a 3.3 increase from the prior year. That's kind of hard to do at banks. All right. As of Q1 of this year, it rose already to $874.5 billion. This is total assets now, right? So AUM, assets under management. This is the bank's wealth and retail banking division. So it grew from, at the end of 24, it was at $367 billion, and it's added nearly 95 billion that year, in the same year. Now, this is in a down market, guys. So where they finding the money, right? The private bank sector has an additional 67 billion in assets. All right. So now we're talking about 850 billion in assets. Standard Charter, I'm sorry, is the 16th largest bank in Europe by assets. Understand this. All right. 16th largest bank in Europe by assets. Now, what you guys have to realize is monkey see, monkey do. You got anything else on Standard Bank? I mean, Charter? Standard Charter. God damn it, Steve.
I was doing that all day. No, but they're just, listen, that's one of the biggest players to join this game, man. So that's exciting for me.
Monkey see, monkey do, right? So if they're 16th, trust me, the 15th above them are taking notes right now. All right. So you either innovate or you die. So here's why this is big. So this is the state of the US bank custody, right? Because that's Europe. So you may be thinking like, oh, what's the big deal? Understand, guys, this shit is global. So every bit of money that flows in here, it matters to all our wallets, right? This isn't like foreign exchange markets and then you have to have money there and then US market, you have the money. No, it's one market. I don't think y'all realize that. It's one market. That FX money trading and this guy's trading stocks. No, everything runs through crypto. We've been telling y'all that. The stock guys hated when we used to say shit like that. Like, yo, y'all gonna be dead without us. No, what you mean? First in, first out. We're just innovating it. It's just gonna make it better. So this is the US regulators now. I'm gonna talk about 3 agencies real quick. You got the Fed, the OCC, and then the FDIC. They all have confirmed that banks can provide crypto custody and trading services. So we already gave you Telcoin, right? The first crypto bank. We gave you the whole breakdown of the play, what it's going to look like. That's the play that everybody's going to follow. Meta's going to have a bank. Google's going to have a bank. Amazon's going to have a bank. Everybody's going to have a bank. Okay? Because it doesn't matter. The reason why America wants everyone to have a bank is because that's what's going to hold up the economy. These are going to be the only people that are going to be buying those treasury bonds that nobody around the world wants to buy. Now, when the United States starts to control the on and off ramp of certain things, and they start to deem or bring to the forefront the US, those US crypto projects, right? So when they talked about Made in America, there's a big reason for that because those are the infrastructure projects that even those guys have to use, right? They weren't innovating in these other countries like that. There's no blockchains coming out of Africa that's on the radar. You know, they're adopting Solana over there. All right, so check it. So now all they have to do is have like strong risk management and compliance systems in place. But it's going to be easy to be compliant because you can see everything in real time, right? This isn't the old system. You got to kind of send your shit over. It could be manipulated. This one is in real time. And then they're going to wrap AI around it. So it's like the minute you're not compliant, boom, you can get a fine and even shut down instantly. So Standard Charter, like Champ says, is leading the charge on this entire thing right here. But we told you Telcoin already had the banking license, but this is huge, okay? So this is going to happen in the United States. The minute that Trump signs this thing, I'd say give it like 30 to 60 days, and you guys are going to be able to hold Bitcoin at your bank initially. They're not going to let XRP and these guys out the bag just yet, right? Because they actually need that stuff to kind of move things around. It's not on the exchanges like that anymore, guys. It's just drying up. It's drying up. All right, so there's going to be a lot of pressure on a lot of these smaller assets that we told you about. So you're probably asking yourself, like, fuck, this has to do with me, right? So this is a retail impact that's happening right now. All right, so what we have? Retail, I'm kind of glad y'all came in. Y'all got first positions in this situation. So we're talking about the retail investor that really doesn't know what's happening. Now, when you go to your actual bank, the minute you open your banking app, you're going to see buy cryptocurrency. They're not going to need cold storage wallets. They're not going to have to go through half the shit we went through to be able to buy. But the difference between us and them is their entry points. So remember, I told you, it doesn't matter because if everybody ran in here at the same time, then we wouldn't have what we call exit liquidity. Or new liquidity, right? So if you got in with these early entries, you're perfect right now because you don't need to be educated moving forward. It's just at your bank. The same way when your bank went digital and then you had to log in and stuff like that, there was no learning curve to that really like that. It was just, oh shit, this is convenient. So conveniently, they'll be able to buy all the assets that we hold conveniently. So don't be mad at them. Just thank them later. All
Right.
right. So then you have an increased trust that's being formed right now. All right. So, and accessibility. So now we're talking about that convenience situation because that's what scares a lot of people. Even our students are scared to use cold storage wallets, no matter how much we walk them through it, no matter how much we, whatever. You know, Wayne, as one of those most difficult things. You'll buy it before you actually crack the shit open. You will not crack it open the same day. It will sit on your desk like a paperweight. All right. So bank-led crypto trading brings regulated framework, deposit insurance. Listen, I'm gonna send some of my shit from the cold storage to the bank. I'm telling you, because they're gonna wrap products around it. So when I need to liquidate or I need to borrow against it, now we're talking about the DeFi market right there. I'm not going to liquidity pools. No way. I'd say within the next 30 days, you're going to see an attack on current liquidity pools right now. Who's willing to take that bet with me? And I know a lot of you students in here, happy you making 20% a year. Maybe you might be even making 10% a month. All right, good luck. Watch how they lock this shit up on y'all. Get the shit off those liquidity pools. Stop playing with these guys. You understand? Because it doesn't belong to you when it's locked up. Champ used to tell me, yo, take the, what's the shit with XRP?
It was the DAOs, and then you had airdrops.
No, your airdrops, but you had to do what? Like a photo. What you had to do? Take a picture of some shit?
Yeah, you had to, they did it's what's called a snapshot of your
That's
wallet.
how ignorant I am, guys, because I'm like, champ, no, I ain't fucking, I'm not touching it. I'm not touching it. I don't want this. I don't want that. Some of them I should have played it though, but it just wasn't for me. I had a strategy, and I've seen guys touch crypto so much that they ain't even got the shit in. Because what you do is you're training yourself to keep moving it, right? That's orchestrated. Oh, move it here to get that. Move it there to get that. And then they taking snapshots. I'm like, who's taking the picture and what are they doing with the shit? Mm-hmm. Who knows? That snapshot shit might get snapped out of your wallet. I don't know. But I was not touching that shit. No way. I never signed up for free lunch.
Yeah, he didn't want that smoke.
No, I'll figure it out. I'm not hungry today. So now you have conservative investors. So remember I told you the boomers, that's the people with all the wealth that won't die, right? Mm-hmm. Guess where their money's about to go now?
Hello.
So when you talk about the great wealth transfer, this is where we at right now, right? That's the liquidity that we were waiting on. Not those little retail guys with that little $100 there, $50 here, $5 buy a week. Not that guy. A different guy. All right. So I can't even say much, man. We're validated and we're stamped. You can go back 3.5 years and shit. I was talking about this shit even before the internet was even rocking. Mm-hmm. And if I would have had my talking points back then, forget it. They sound exactly the same now. And I knew it in 2015 when I was introduced to it. The first thing I said when I heard it, I said, damn, if they could pull this off, this is a game changer. Because I didn't do credit. There was no debt raised. There was none of that back in those days. You either had money to do something or you did. You know what I'm saying? Yep. I didn't know the financial system, how it worked. I just knew how to get money. Like I really knew how to get money back then, but I knew how to spend money even better. Right. And even back then, my trajectory of all my businesses, they have one thing in common. They were all affected by technology. Every single one of them. I've never exited out of a company, barely, well, real estate, but everything else, I've never had to exit. It's literally innovation exited me out. Mm-hmm. Now I got all the tools. Now I can look back and say, damn, that's not even a loss, but it built me for who I am today. Right. And then once I started to understand what money was, how capital moved, and then the ingredient that I had that was missing was I didn't realize how much global economics had an effect on everything. Right. You're talking about a guy that just, you think you're doing it. You're traveling to Miami, you go to Vegas a couple of times, and it's like, it was a whole world out here that I had no clue that these guys have been doing this since the beginning of time. So that's why when I latched onto it, I dug deep and I went wide as hell. You know what I'm saying? It may seem like we kind of all over the place and we know a little bit of everything is because we had to, right?
Mhm.
So now this is the part where this is what I waited for. I waited for this point, and I'm waiting to create that strategy that we talked about last night, where it's like, all right, we're going to position ourselves in every single market, whether we're going to think that market is going to go up or whether we're going to create shorts around stuff. Like if this money's not falling out the sky into your wallet every single day when you messing with Skyton Academy, that just means you just didn't pull the trigger on things. And I'm not stopping. And I'm telling you, everything I know, you will know. Straight up. Just do your research. But if you know anything about the research I did and Champ did, you ain't gotta go too far. Because we put it on a platter. We serving it up.
Absolutely.
So while these guys are talking about Bitcoin, let me give you some headlines about Bitcoin.
I talk to him. Talk to him.
I'm just going straight headlines and we done. We out of here early. I'm
All
going
right,
tonight. I'm going out tonight. All right. So this is a stat. This is a return on investment from November 5th, 24 to yesterday. XRP, 375% increase. Solana, 292% increase. NVIDIA, 197% increase. Dogecoin, 182% increase. Bitcoin, 64% increase. And ETH, 61% increase.
Now, this was over how long? What was the duration?
November 5th to now. So we're not even talking about a year. 8 months?
Yep. 8. Mm-hmm.
8 months. Watch how we blow this shit out the water. And the wild part about this list here, it's not even talking about the other assets that haven't even really moved yet. The ones associated with government, the ones associated with cybersecurity, the ones associated with the fake industry that they're building. And that's the one I'm gonna sit on. Next month, we're gonna talk about those carbon credits and the bullshit that they're doing.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Right? The fake industries. What else we got? One more, two more. Okay, I keep playing with this spot market. Like, stop putting shorts on this market right now. $40 million worth of ETH was liquidated the other day in shorts. Guys, you're playing against the market. You're playing against the exchanges. It's still not regulated on the exchange side. All right? They're caking. They took $40 million from people. Connecticut passed a bill banning Bitcoin. It goes into effect January 1st, 2026. I didn't see that. I see some eyes open up. Why they do that? It's not for retail investors. It's on the institutional side. So it's more the state pension. And yeah, don't put the state pension inside of Bitcoin. And I agree with that.
Yeah. Facts.
Don't do it. So there's still a hurdle at the federal level, but if all stays true, then that pension money is not going to go into Bitcoin. Guess where it's going to go? Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So it doesn't go to Bitcoin, it flows to something else. You're going to watch. I ain't going to say nothing, but you're going to watch that top 5 get flipped fast.
For sure.
Brooklyn Tech is the first high school to run a node on Solana.
Major news.
2 million. $2 million. What did we talk about the other day? We're going to start running our nodes now. Right? Some of the shit we're going to have to get into it collectively because there's some nodes that require like 1 million XLM.
Yeah.
Yeah, I may know what that means, but we're going to start to break that down for y'all. I was waiting for this because if we did it too early, we'd had to double back. It's right on top. So we got y'all. Champ, put that down as a note. We got a lot of shit going on. Kenya launches national digital token on Solana. Solana's about to crash. So I'm telling y'all.
Again?
No, I'm just saying there's a lot of new shit coming in here. Oh, yeah. That's the Nintendo cartridge of all of it.
Straight up.
That's my guy, Charles. Charles killed that shit that day. Charles is good. Yeah, so Kenya's on Solana. All right. What else we got? That's it. The rest of the stuff, guys, we got work to do. If you're not a member, well, shit, everybody's a member. But if you're not a member and you're watching this, get into the academy right now. Here's how it's going to look. You're going to get in. You're going to take a 9-part foundation course, which gets you from FOMO, fear of missing out, because the FOMO is probably at an all-time high right now. If I had to guess, if I had to put a long on anything, it'd be FOMO. FOMO's pumping. All right, that's the first crypto that's pumping. Take your time. Take your time. We're going to redo the 1% call. And one of the things I want to add to the 1% is anybody that's new, we'll just do like we'll do an allocation. If I was to have $1,000, this is what I would do with it. Right. And then you guys can kind of go from there. And then Champ would have his, if he had $1,000, what he would do with it. All right. So you kind of get an outlook. We pretty much have our portfolio set to about 2040.
Straight up.
Right. So we gave you like VeChain and Morpheus Network. You guys can write them down. No big deal. I wouldn't pump into them so fast. That's the part I'm waiting on.
Mm-hmm.
That's the innovation I'm waiting on. The infrastructure rail is fun, but that second part, that second wave of wealth, that's the one that's going to be fun because those projects actually change. You can see the changes. Those are going to be the biggest tech companies in the world. The biggest tech companies in the world. Mark my words. That aren't going to be listed on the New York Stock Exchange, but they will be in the form of an ETF. And guess who's getting back into the stock market again? We are.
Go.
We are. Straight up.
And stocks are going to be, it's a T word. I can't think about it.
That one. Tokenized.
Let's
Everything
go.
tokenized. So we're going to talk about tokenization. I mean, we've been talking about tokenization for a long time now, but we're going to start to go a little bit more into it. The resort in Colombia is going to be a tokenized project. It's going to be the first one in South America.
Yep.
Not on Solana.
Definitely not.
No. It's going to be on Hedera. We're partnering with Hedera on that one. Fractional NFTs.
Ownership, access, innovation.
Generational ownership.
That's it.
You don't sell the NFT, you pass it, you pass it down. You put it in your 508 WD-40. That one. Lance is coming next Tuesday for those of y'all who don't know, this is a little inside joke, YouTube. No, but listen, we have a lot going on in the academy right now. What I do want you guys to do is I want you guys to look at your wallets every day. I want you to get everything off the exchanges before Thursday because we go into Mercury retrograde on Friday.
On Friday, yes.
Yeah. So things are going to get a little wacky. But I think Mercury is going to affect more of the banking side, not so much the crypto side, because the banking side, you know what they got to do to their systems? You know how old the banking computers are? You be seeing, you go inside of a bank, you're not pulling money out in seconds. They're always telling you, like, oh my God, my computer's so slow. My computer's so slow. I'm like, yo, just give me the money. Give me the money. My computer's so slow. My computer's so slow. So now they got to hit Control-Alt-Delete. They're about to get an upgrade. So you're going to see a lot of downtime. Anytime you see maintenance, don't be scared, guys. They have to do it. They're mandated to do this. Even if they're not going to hold cryptocurrency, they're mandated to play in the system. God, what a time to be alive right now, man.
This is it, bro.
What a time to be alive right now. And listen, I want to thank every single one of y'all, and even the ones who came early and left. If y'all ever watch this particular video right now, you guys are probably the first ones. It would never be anything if it wasn't for the first set of students that we've had.
Yep.
Wouldn't have went this far.
Absolutely.
At all. So we had strong conviction in it. Few bumps in the road between Champ and I wanted to quit a couple times. We about to quit. We told y'all, but we're not in the quitting in the sense of what we're talking about. We're just about to quit the entry level stuff.
The one-on-one. Yeah.
And you can go to the website, just say, listen, just go to your bank. Talk to your bank. We're doing other things. So now what you guys have to do is you have to pivot from, there's a strategy right now, right? So we're not just retail investors right now. We have to know how to move globally with this asset. You understand? That's what we're gearing up for. Who was the only group on the internet that introduced us to digital residency in crypto-friendly countries? We have a second one that we're about to launch too.
Skyton Academy.
We have a second one. And if you bought the GCA, you're going to get that one included in it. No charge.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So we're just picking up IDs. There's going to be a reason for that.
Yep. Nah, man, this is it.
Moving forward. You understand? Everybody's going to want to offer you something for your cryptocurrency. Everybody. So far from the days of they're not even giving 5% anymore on your money in the traditional markets. That can't even keep up with the rate of inflation at this point now. Fiat money's dead. Fiat's dead. It's down 25% in the last year. The output of how hard I'm working hasn't changed. It actually increased. You guys pay us in what? Fiat.
Yeah, yep.
It's about to change. Pay me in crypto. Give me 30 days for that. Switching the system over to we're going to shut our system down. Actually, we're going down for maintenance, not to link with the Federal Reserve, obviously, but we're switching over to something else. But yeah, we need payments in crypto.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And we do take them now, just so you know, but this is for all members. And since most of the people that's on this call right now, I know there's still a lot of interest. So what me and Steve decided to do before this call ended, right? Well, even before the call started, we had a meeting of the minds because this is crypto week and this is so important, and you guys express interest. You guys are going to get those promos that we had for episode 100. That was our huge milestone last week, last Wednesday. Because this is one of the most pivotal weeks in crypto, we're going to extend the promos out until July 18th. This is this Friday, right? 11:59 p.m. That's to the conclusion of crypto week. So everybody who's been asking about the 1%, how they can get in, etc., I'm about to drop it. Well, Sonia just dropped it in the chat. Thank you so much, Sonia. I appreciate that. You guys have until July 18th, 11:59. Everything that you need, the promo codes, the links, everything is on that document. So just click the link. You got it.
Nah, listen, don't beat that dead horse because I want to move past that. Check it.
We passed it now.
Nah, but check this. Somebody asked about the global the GCA. So GCA stands for Global Crypto Access. All right. It's in the academy, guys. That means you guys aren't clicking around. It's in there. All right. So you basically unlock global opportunities to trade, transact, and thrive. What you guys fail to realize is when these banking institutions come into the sector, they're going to have rules and regulations that are going to be set forth, right? They're not here to give you independence. Okay? They're not here to give you independence. Guys, you're going to get in that 1%. Trust me when I tell you that. Everybody at some point is going to get in the 1%. Now, at what entry point you get in is going to be a little bit different. And what I mean by that is you have to understand the 1% is a lifetime situation, and we add projects. There's projects that graduate to the 1%. We're constantly watching, we're assessing. It's our 1%. It's not like some other shit, right? It's what we deem 1%. 99 is going to die. All right. So check it. The global crypto access, what you guys have to understand is when you go into the current financial institutions, and why would you want to do business with the girl that burned you a few times over and over and over? I'm just asking. I would do it only because of the relationship, because there are still some, still kind of playing in that world a little bit. Just put it that way. All right. So I'm still kind of dabbling with her a little bit, but not for long. Right. So, and the only reason I'm doing that is to diversify. It's not to like put big bags with them. It's just to diversify so I can test out what they're doing. Okay. Because if I had to guess, my banking relationships would probably look like maybe they'll send a car for me. Maybe they'll come to my house and sit down with me, right? Maybe they'll buy me banks. I'm not banks. Oh, we probably buy banks too, guys. That's another thing. There's going to be a lot of small banks. That's something that's on a roadmap. So remember, I always told you I wanted to do a cold storage wallet. And now I'm like, maybe we could all get together and buy lending institutions that are failing. And then guess what we do? We get the depositors and we educate the depositors. But we don't educate them in the way that they think they're going to be educated, how the other banks are doing it now. We're going to really make them make money. Small banks are going to fail. They're going to need bailouts. Come on, man. You telling me like collectively at the academy, we don't got $100 million? And I kind of told you the 11 wallets of people that I put together. And today, if I had to do the math on those wallets, forget about it. That was on the last pump last year.
Mhm.
We buying banks, not empty banks, banks with depositors. And then we're going to give them a basket of shit that we feel is beneficial to them, not Bitcoin and ETH. They're like, can we get Bitcoin? No, not at this bank. Don't worry, we got you. That's what banks need to do. The banks aren't going to educate customers. They're just going to keep you fixated on Bitcoin and ETH, and they're going to start to accumulate, guess what? The other stuff. They're going to use your money from Bitcoin to ETH. They're going to borrow against it in the DeFi market, and they're going to buy the 1% assets. Right? Rinse and repeat. That's what's going to happen.
Yeah.
So last night's call, we told you about how the dollar was going to collapse and what was going to happen. The analogy was Blockbuster to Netflix. Tonight's call, we showed you what the banking system is doing now and how they all have permission for it. I think you got the full picture now. Did we not change circumstances and lives right now? And I'm not saying us, like, give us all the credit. Like, you have to take the credit because you believed in this situation.
Mhm. Yeah.
I think there's going to be a lot of 2-week notices coming by November. I'm even quitting at certain things that I'm doing within my own company because of where we're at right now in the cycle. See, I can tell y'all bosses to go fuck off, man. Straight up. Work because you want to, not because you have to. But
Straight up.
And listen, guys, with wealth comes great responsibility, right? So now we have to have conversations about people who don't feel like they're worthy of this, right? Let's be honest. I'm one of those guys. I come from scarcity mindset. It's embedded in me. I'm being honest with you. Being worthy of it. Nah, we did this. The only community focused on Black and brown people, as hard as it was, because y'all didn't want to really rock with us. Still don't. But we stayed the course. And I'm saying we're for all people, but you know what? We present the way we present. We would have had a greater market if Champ and I looked like Beavis and Butthead.
Straight up.
Our market would have been different. So we have to start talking about, I'm telling you, when this sort of money hits your bank account, you're not prepared for it. So this is why, I've been moving this quick to kind of get into the global access. This is why, back to global, the GCA. So basically it provides you with a sovereign nation issued ID, all right? So it's basically borderless identity that grants you seamless entry into the global digital economy. This is what you guys fail to realize. You're going to have a basket of stuff and offerings for you outside the country. Why do you think Donald Trump and them are trying to lock this country up? Doesn't it feel like they don't want you to escape? Doesn't it feel like they want to have you only working with certain assets in certain places? Because they know, listen, $1 trillion could move from the United States to Europe to China. They don't want that happening. So you have these countries that are opening up their doors to crypto investors. Why do you think they're doing that? It's going to build their economies up. Yeah. You look at Burkina Faso just said they had one of the fastest trains ever in the way. They just came out of receivership from France. Look how fast they were able to innovate. Look how fast Ghana's dollar has surpassed the US dollar. Look how fast that happened. And now they're tokenizing their assets. I'm not interested in going to Africa right now, but I'm definitely interested in investing in the infrastructure of Africa through tokenization. That's what we're going to be doing at the Academy. Phase 2. Now we're deciding of how to structure that, right? Because I don't want laggers in phase 2. I dealt with 3.5 years of fuck, man, my shoulders are hurting right now. You know what I'm saying? I want the right people in phase 2 implementation. Even if you stay in the Academy at that level of membership, there's just going to be another level of membership. Have you guys ever had a private banker before at your bank? Put a 1 in the chat, or a 1 if you have, and put a 2 if you haven't. If you have a private banker right now at your bank that you can call up that knows you. See where we're going with this? So we're moving to like a private banking situation. You're graduating if you want to. You can stay at the level, it's fine. But the next level is the next level. All right. So that's what we're putting in the background. So the global access situation, guys, we're gonna need digital IDs on the internet. Is off thing as I am about this situation, it's gonna be necessary for safety. You understand? I'm not gonna be dealing in the black market of crypto. Not small percentage in it, but not everything. All right. So with that access card, what it does is going to grant you the ability to, even if they program the money here, that card is going to allow you access to other places. That's the one thing. Even when you looked at the guy from, I forget his name. Shit, it'll come back to me. So when you have the guys over at the SEC. And they're talking about they were just laughing in one of the interviews, and they're just like, listen, we can't do nothing about this. This shit is global. You can't lock it up the way that you did the US dollar. What they did was they kept everybody confused and uninterested in it. So they made sure that no one had access to the wealth, even though the information was there, even though dots were being connected by a lot of people, not just Champ and I. And even to this day, when we open the call, the first question I ask is, are they still interested? And they're like, they're still not interested. The hardest thing to do is change human behavior.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's the hardest thing to do is to change human behavior. But the minute that a bank can tell you that it goes from using this form to that form, because all we want to do is spend, right? They'll never ask themselves, well, why did they change it? What can I do to benefit off of that? Who's benefiting off of that? What is it? We just use the debit card, right?
Yep.
No questions. Nobody thought about investing in the companies that were powering the debit cards. No, like new liquidity that just came into a new form, a new market. It moved money faster. It was programmable. At the end of the day, it was trackable.
Trackable, yeah.
Right? Your cards ain't programmable. They don't tell you, oh, you just got $1,000 credit limit. That's not programmed.
Straight up.
I'm acting like this language is different, man. The language is different. The play is the same. We never left the plantation.
Yo, this guy's genius is relatability in its purest form. Did y'all just catch that? Yo, that was crazy. That was a clip right there.
I like that.
I like that right there. I see where you was going with that. That was brilliant.
My freestyle game is actually I love freestyle.
Yo, that's the realest thing ever though, because people really don't have that perspective. So it's good to have somebody like you to break this down. As intricate as I can be with data, like to know, like somebody can tell you, like, yo, you are using programmable money. It's on a card. Everybody. So it's like as much as people be in an uproar, you're already using it. So a lot of this stuff is
if you don't pay your bill, what happens when you don't pay your bill?
You can't use it. They shutting you out. You lose access.
Right. And what happens when you pay your bill? It opens back up again.
Straight up.
Right? What happens when you don't pay after 30 days? You get your credit score tanks, which then leads you to not be able to come into the capital market. Come on, Ashley, man. This ain't common sense.
Wow, man.
It's not the same play with different wording.
That's it.
All right, y'all keep playing around with these Zionist banking cartel. I'm calling it out.
Yeah.
You're on your ass.
Straight up.
And listen, so the global access is just how you move into private. That's all. Yeah. It's to give you the ability to make sure that you're never locked out. Imagine they locked up your account. You can't call anybody. I'm telling you, this ain't like you call up your bank and you get a provisional credit and they open up an investigation. No, this shit is locked down from the federal government level.
Straight up.
Like you said, banking cartel, like you said, Zionists, like there's laws on the books. Like you can't, it's like what?
Crazy.
I need global access because I be tripping.
Talking that talk, man. That truth, man. That truth will get you in trouble. But shit, when you stand on principle, it is what it is.
die standing up, die on my knees. It don't matter. Die. You will
Mhm.
not, I will not conform to how they want this game played.
Straight up.
No way. No way.
Straight up.
Find me. I'll pay it. No problem. You know what I'm saying? No problem. I'll pay it. But I'm gonna stand on it. So
Mhm.
listen, we need better leadership. We need better leadership in these times, man. Slim down, trim down your communities. Trust me when I tell you that. You don't got time to be in 5, 10 communities. Don't worry about those guys. We've lapped them already. So where we're going now, they don't even know half the shit we know. We ain't
Straight up.
even share. We ain't even share half the stuff with y'all yet. Trust me when I tell you that. If I find out y'all in other communities, especially my top guys, the new guys, I'm gonna give them some pass. But my top guys, if you've been here a year or more, and I see you in another community, I see you like a page, I'm being petty. Feel some sort of way. Now,
He's rubbing.
there's some good people out there. And I'll be honest, I was the only crypto educator that connected with other crypto educators that didn't want to come on our platform, even though I formally invited them, and we had bigger reach than them.
Facts.
They thought we were looking for something. And I'm like, nah, we just need to form a coalition. They didn't want to work together. They didn't want to work together.
Dead in the water, man.
And I'm gonna leave with this one, and then you can have him after this. But this guy is a clown. This guy right here is a clown.
Oh wow. You about to share. You about to share that joint?
You got it?
Hold up.
Let me show you who not to follow. And I offer to bring him on the platform too. But he'll never debate. He just want to be slick. This guy's dumb. Actually, there's two guys I want you to listen. Nah, just one guy. Let me just, because I can go all day with these guys, but you got to be careful with these guys. Of course, I'm not going to find it. Nah, I'm going to find it. I stay following them just for entertainment, but it's not for support. But listen to this shit. I got it. You got it, champ? I got it.
Yeah, you got it.
All right. Let me get it over to Telegram. You want to share it?
Yeah, I can.
All right, my guy. This is it's not to give him light, it's to talk about the thing that he's talking about. It's not him. He knows no better. Nah, you might as well restart it. You got it. Nah, restart.
Or I'll be able to buy 10.
Yeah, you know you gotta be right at that bottom right corner. Put that mouse down there.
Mhm.
That feature's dumb.
Do whatever you need to do to get to one Bitcoin. Now, here's the thing, man. A lot of your friends and family, they're not going to understand where you're coming from. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of things that make sense in the Bitcoin world, they don't make sense in the fiat world. A lot of things that make sense in the fiat world don't make sense in the Bitcoin world. Why are you driving around in a Bitcoin? That's crazy. When I know I'll be able to buy another car, I'll be able to buy 10 of them for zero point 0.1 Bitcoin in the future. You know what I'm saying? Like anything that's extra has to go. Extra watches, extra homes, extra cars, whatever. It's got to go. You got to go bust your ass and drive Uber. You watching this. You got to go drive Uber on the weekend, lower your pride and go do that. You got to pick up a weekend shift at the local warehouse, lower your pride and do that. Like, it's that serious, bro. Do whatever you need to do to get to one Bitcoin. Now, here's the thing, man. A lot of your friends and family, they're not going to understand where you're coming from.
All right, pause it. You see my comments right there too. How ironic. The endless loop. Ponzi.
Straight
Yo,
up.
Listen, he sounded like Michael Saylor. Michael Saylor was telling people, mortgage your homes. Y'all gotta understand, this thing is a Ponzi. They need more money to run this bag up, right? What he doesn't realize is he's not invested in understanding the tech behind cryptocurrency. This is one of the major issues I have with these Bitcoin guys. He's got a different entry point than most people do, right? That's the thing. So if you had $117,000 right now, you tell me you would buy one Bitcoin based on the information and knowledge that we sit on. After I just told you from November of last year till now, we've 5x that situation. There's been many projects that have way more room. So even if Bitcoin went to $1 million, God bless everybody who got in at 11,000 or whatever the average. And that's not even their average entry because these guys kept putting more money into it. Why would you enter that market as your first asset? It's just lack of information.
Straight up.
My mom, when I speak to her, she's like, how's Bitcoin? Like she thinks Bitcoin is crypto. Like, mom, now I just be like, Bitcoin is good. Bitcoin's going good. Right? She has no clue what it is.
Yeah, no, that's a
But
fact.
even she's conditioned.
Yep. I mean, that's what you do when you market. They
I'm like,
market
you tell me you watch my playbacks, like, what are you talking about? That's what I want to say to her. But she ain't picking up what I'm putting down. But she gonna be all right though.
Yeah, Mama Love gonna be straight.
I got a little wallet for her. Yeah, that's that guy right there, man. Just you can follow him for shits and giggles, but don't take financial advice. And he didn't even say, that's the wild part about these Bitcoin guys is they don't even give you like a warning. Right? There's no like, what's the legal jargon? What you supposed to say? This ain't financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor.
Yeah,
What is
yeah. This is not financial advice. As I'm not a financial advisor. This is for educational purposes only.
right? Do your own research.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's all I got tonight, champ. But this thing is heating up. So guys, we're gonna spend more time setting up this is all strategy from here on out, right? Because I'm not really buying much more or anything less. I'm just setting up what the next play is going to be, right? Turn this stuff to assets. It's digital, so you can see it one day, and then things that make you laugh, make you cry.
Mm-hmm.
Put a plan together. Let's build tech companies using AI. That's how a majority of wealth is made, is through tech company sales.
For sure.
So when you have global access and you sell your tech company to somebody that's offering cryptocurrency, and then you're registered in another country, and then you don't have to really, you could pick and choose where you want money to go. It's kind of dope. So I'm just happy we have rules and regulations. I'm just happy that we did it, Joe. Did it, Joe. Do you think the last administration would have did this?
Hell no. Hell no. Undeniable. Listen,
XRP would have been how much, you think?
30 cents again?
Shit, damn. You better thank the Donald Trump. Yeah, he's doing a lot, though. I'm not endorsing at all. I told you from the beginning, I said the only reason I'm voting for him is because of this. I knew he was going to do this.
Yeah,
Everything else, you got to pick your poison with these guys, man.
for sure.
They want to put people back on the plantation, so because we never left it. You got to be practical in your thought process, man.
Mm-hmm.
We've never left it. Sitting on these calls is your freedom card. They didn't expect us to do all this.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't think we could sustain this thing this long. Even if everything shot to $1 million, it still wouldn't be new people that wanted to come in here.
Mm-hmm.
They don't feel worthy enough. Or it's like, you know what they do? That crowd is conditioned because when they see 117,000, it deflates them. That's how fixated they are on Bitcoin. That's why it was created by the government. That's a psychological play, man. That's the biggest Trojan horse ever in this modern day that nobody's talking about, except very few.
Real talk.
That's going to be a nice Netflix special, man. Somebody better shoot the hell out of that movie. Whoever did The Big Short, they got to do that Bitcoin story. I'm telling you, man, everybody is going to be looking like that. I could just see this dude, Chris Johnson. He looking a little crazy now. I don't know if you peeped that. They just be delusional.
Yo, that's the wild part, man.
2 million, 4 million. It's like, yo, when in history has anybody ever cared about our financial well-being at that level? Am I bugging? And then my wife, sometimes she'll look at me, she's like, yo, you sure we shouldn't have any Bitcoin? I'm like, yo, nah, we good, man. You know what I'm saying? Now, if it gets to like 10 million a coin, I'll be like, God damn. But nah, I'll be honest. I don't, we have a little bit, but nothing to write home about. I did have a buy order in at 10,000 that never triggered. It dropped to 11. At 10, I had a couple things I was going to unload on that.
Yeah.
But it just wasn't in the cards. It was right there at 11. And I could have changed it and grabbed it to never be seen again. I should open it back up again at 10.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I honestly, that's where it should be.
That's the price. Actually, 6,500 should be the price. And ETH should be $30 and XRP should be 4,000.
Facts. And the time is coming. And what I want people to understand is too, like, I'll leave y'all with this and then we out. So
I'm here for the outro.
you know I got you. You know I got that covered. I'm smooth like butter, baby.
Let's get it.
So Bitcoin over the year, right? I'm gonna give you facts and figures real quick. Over the year, Bitcoin has done year to date 81.56% gains, right? Sounds amazing. Bravo for everybody who got into Bitcoin a year ago. A year ago today, that was about 64,000, right? Now, I'm gonna give y'all some perspective. While everybody was telling you about Bitcoin, XRP itself, over 1 year, year to date, it was 57 cents. The price today is $3.05. Year to date, it did 425.51%. You still want to fixate on Bitcoin? All right. And I'll leave it at that. So, Steve.
We doing something Saturday for the members?
Yeah, I just got to add it to I just got to get your time and I'll add it to the calendar.
You gonna be around?
He got media day. I can be in the afternoon if you want to push it a little to the right.
Yeah, we can push it. We don't gotta be early. He's in the morning.
Yeah, yep.
Yeah, guys, we're doing a cold storage wallet talk.
Mm-hmm.
We're gonna do a cold storage wallet talk.
Yep.
All right.
Let's get it.
Global crypto access. For those of you who asked, here it is. Drop a 1 in the chat if you have your ID already.
Ooh, let's go.
This is just to show you that you're going to be in good company. You may not see the value of it today, but trust me. Y'all gonna be like, damn, Steve, you caught that shit early. I'm like, I told you. I'm just covering the ducks, man. I always look for the bad in things. I'm not worried about the great stuff. You know, once I can wrap my head around like what's around the corner, situational awareness. It's not just vision, it's intuition.
Ooh, I like that one. That one need to go on the shirt.
I got a bunch of shirts.
That's it.
But the official one is don't be fucking dumb.
Don't be dumb.
Don't be dumb. Don't be dumb.
Yo, shout out to everybody that's watching us right now live.
We got to change that though, because once it flips, it's over. It's like, yo, you dumb.
Oh, nah, that's fact. Nah, that's a fact.
I can't use that no more. It's just, yo, you dumb.
But you still should trademark that. And you got to move fast before somebody else get it. You know, IP is a motherfucker. Like, let's go.
I don't want to trade. I don't want to do nothing with government here in this country, bro. I trademark it in Haiti.
Ooh, nice.
Next Sutton.
Homeland.
Next Sutton.
Dope. What that mean? What that mean to Haitian?
Some dumbass. Just dumb. Just dumb.
Yo.
My career is broken. I got to sharpen my stuff up. Ralph, we got to talk in Creole a little bit more, man. We got a lot of Haitians in here now.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe I should transcribe this in Creole. You know what they call me in Creole? Next year. That's what all my peoples call me. Serious guy. So when I went out to Haiti with the crew, we just rocking, and you seen dudes on the sidewalk, and they had these laptops. You don't know what they doing, but they was like, yo, if you were in Haiti, you'd be that guy, the guy with the laptop with no signal, but he's typing stuff.
No signal.
No signal. There's no way he had signal. That computer was old. It didn't have internet.
As well.
Yeah. So I'm here for the outro.
All right. Before I outro y'all, shout out to everybody that's watching and tuning in with us over there and on YouTube. The chat is super live. We greatly appreciate y'all for joining us tonight. Come back next week. We gonna keep serving.
Oh, drop the membership, drop the membership, drop the membership. Guys, in every video, there is a membership link. It's $1 trial for the first month, and it's $50 after that. Trust me, it's an insurance policy into your life.
Absolutely.
It's an insurance policy. Don't be dumb. Don't be dumb.
Facts. SkytonAcademy.com at checkout, 49 off YT. No spaces. $1 for your first month. All right. Steve said he wanted smoke. He wanted that outro. So let's get into it. So crypto literally just became law. Now is the time for each and every one of us to be leaders in our own right. If you're not already inside Skyton Academy, this is your invitation. $1 for your first month. You get to gain access to everything we talk about, crypto breakdowns, the max. This is a masterclass and an example of what we do day in and day out. Serve high level information, making it relatable, walking you through step by step into the new future of finance. We break down agency involvement, global pilots, token connections, real market signals before they even trend, before they happen. This is vision. This is foresight. This is not a time for anybody to play the guessing game. It's the time to act. Clarity, confidence, roadmap. The old system is cooked. The new system, unlocked. The time, game time. It's right now. And we're going to walk you through the future with Skyton Academy. This is where we connect the dots and get busy. Let's move, let's build, let's lead. Dot Connect 101, out.